Coming up on WFT's First at 5, thunderstorms are firing up this evening. The WFT weather team is tracking our rain chances ahead.
Plus, a Gainesville Commission meeting later today will focus on an RTS transit route restoration plan that has been in the works for several months.
Also, ACPS teachers made their voices heard at a school board meeting on Tuesday, marking the 11th meeting where teachers have called for higher pay. WFT's First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The Regional Transportation System, or RTS, is working on how to improve how Gainesville bus riders get around. This is WFT's First at 5. I'm Charlize Ramos.
And I'm Jamie Goldman. Let's get right over to WFT's Eva Garcia live in the studio with the new plans they want to implement.
RTS is undergoing the completion of a transit route restoration plan, or TRRP. The RTS Advisory Board will present the plans they have been working on since February at tonight's commission meeting that starts in less than 30 minutes. The TRRP includes assessing the operational effectiveness of the fixed route transit network, as well as other transit-related services offered by RTS. A study was conducted by the City of Gainesville and RTS as part of the project. The study reveals a decline in usage and a change in mobility patterns since the pandemic. The project hopes to address these issues. Phase 1 would make minor modifications to RTS funding routes, while Phase 2 would make changes to the UF, RTS, Santa Fe College, and county routes. Board members will take today's meeting to receive an update on the TRRP and ask questions. Updates from the meeting will be on WUFT.org. Live in the studio, Eva Garcia, WUFT News.
Small bursts of storms and showers are forming in parts of north central Florida this evening. The UF weather radar is showing the systems moving out of our area over the next few hours. On your screen is a live look at some storms forming in Columbia County. You can see rain falling on the wet roads on I-75 from our DOT cameras. UF weather forecaster Matthew Clark is live in the studio tracking the storms and what is shaping up to be a dry weekend.
Yeah, so we just had a really large storm move offshore from St. Augustine and Butler Beach. This had a severe thunderstorm warning just a little bit ago. Lots of lightning in this area. For the most part of our area, though, we do have some few storms popping up here and there. Mayo seeing some rain south, Columbia County crossing 75 right now. All is quiet, though, here in Gainesville. 84 degrees in Gainesville right now, 88 in Bronson, 84 in High Springs. You see this lighter orange, 75 in St. Augustine. That's just because we've seen so much rain over there that the temperatures are cooling a little bit. Those storms are going to remain likely as we head into the evening parts of tonight. Temperature is going to drop into the upper 70s. Really warm and muggy night is going to continue. I'll have that and more coming ahead with some few storms and our next cold front coming up this weekend.
We have new information on the suspicious package that closed part of downtown Gainesville this afternoon. GPD says a package was located at the Hampton Inn on Southeast 1st Avenue. They asked neighbors to avoid the area while they investigated. The bomb squad was called in and determined the package was a false alarm. A Gainesville man will spend the next 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to 14 counts of child exploitation offenses. 24-year-old Vern Most Jr. entered a guilty plea back on September 10th. Detectives found inappropriate images of children on most devices and learned he was communicating with and sexually exploiting children online. In addition to the prison sentence, he will also have to register as a sex offender.
As the presidential candidates get back on the road, the focus is shifting to the issues most important to voters. The Federal Reserve is moving aggressively today to cut interest rates, which potentially affects your wallet. The Federal Reserve is announcing a half-point interest rate cut aimed at boosting cooling economy by making mortgages, car loans, and credit cards more affordable for you. The economy is a key issue for many Americans this election season. Both candidates are promising to help relieve costs.
We're going to get down the prices.
We have to put the middle class first. We have to put working families first.
The former president is holding a rally tonight in New York, his first since Sunday's apparent assassination attempt against him. He will head to New York with more Secret Service agents for a better protection.
The Matheson Museum will hold an event tonight highlighting 100 years of black voter suppression in Florida. The organization plans to discuss the suppression of voters in Florida and key figures in the struggle for the access to the polls. From the violent and fatal election riots in 1921 in Ocoee to modern redistricting concerns. Attendance is free with registration, and you can sign up for both in-person and online attendance on the museum's website.
The Alachua County School Board meeting is on the minds of education stakeholders after public comments surrounding raises for teachers at the most recent meeting. WFT's Carolina Tortorelli went to the meeting and spoke with many who expressed frustration.
Teachers continue to push for pay increases at school board meetings. It marks the 11th time since April they have stated their needs in a public way. The school board meeting. Parents, teachers, and students went to the podium.
Tell me, why am I so invaluable to society, but I can't afford a full tank of gas towards the end of my pay period?
And on the outside, others protested. The demand: increased teacher salaries. Alachua County Education Association President Carmen Ward says the ask is reasonable.
And they have the money to at least agree to what we have put on the table.
The district proposed a 1.6% increase. It would raise paychecks by $850. Teachers initially asked for 5%. According to the National Education Association, the average teacher salary is around $70,000. In Florida, it's $53,098, thousands of dollars lower than the national average cost of living, causing Cynthia Chiari to seek an additional strain of income.
I have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Some people have to work 3 or 4 jobs because of they have children, they have mortgages that they have to pay.
Alachua teachers changed their bargaining to 3.2%. ACPS Chief Communications Officer Jackie Johnson says funding at this time is limited.
Obviously, the district would love to be able to offer not just teachers, but all of our employees higher salaries. Unfortunately, this year we are facing significant financial challenges.
The next step is working with a mediator. That's when teachers in the district hope to reach a resolution. Brevard County is similar in size to Alachua. It gave teachers a 3.2% raise. That amounts to $1,700 increase in paychecks, compared to $857 in Alachua. Live in the studio, Carolina Tortorelli, WUFT News.
Deputies in Levy County have arrested a woman that they say scammed potential rental clients out of thousands of dollars over the last few months. Deputies arrested 46-year-old Carrie Ann Hendricks Tuesday. Investigators say Hendricks and the victim began speaking about a rental back in May on Facebook Marketplace. The victim then began sending prepayments for the home totaling $3,000. When the victim arrived to the home last month, she found it occupied. That's when the homeowner told her she had been scammed. The victim then worked with detectives to track down Hendricks by setting up a final payment. Detectives say once she took another $750 from her, she was arrested. Hendricks was arrested in the Walmart parking lot in Chiefland. Deputies say the arrest was incorrectly identified as a possible active shooter incident on social media.
Police in Lake City say a neighbor stole several city benches after getting upset at a commission meeting, and he's now facing grand theft charges. Detectives arrested Sylvester Warren Monday night. Warren spoke at the council meeting saying he was going to steal the city's benches on Marion Street north of Washington. Earlier that evening, Warren spoke at the city commission meeting. He disputed the budget vote that would cause for an increase in property taxes. Investigators say they were able to identify Warren for the thefts by matching the hat he wore to the meeting to the same one worn by the suspect in surveillance videos.
The Bradford County Sheriff's Office now has a safe place for parents to exchange custody of their children. This is a new designated area where parents who share custody can safely exchange their children. BCSO is now in compliance with a new law that requires adequate lighting, purple signage, and video surveillance that records 24/7. It was named for Florida mother Cassie Carley, who went missing in 2022 after meeting her child's father in a restaurant parking lot during the custody exchange. Carley's body was found weeks later, and the father was indicted in connection with her death.
As the debate over banned books continues, the Bandwagon is a traveling group that aims to promote and display previously banned books. The Bandwagon tour will stop at the Lynx bookstore in Gainesville on October 11th as part of their tour. A 67-year-old woman in Dixie County is almost $2 million richer after winning a top prize in a scratch-off lottery game. Today, the Florida Lottery announced that Pamela Funk claimed her prize from a $10 scratch-off at the lottery's Gainesville district office. Funk chose to receive her winnings as a one-time payment, raking in $1.3 million. Lottery sales go to a Florida trust fund aimed at enhancing education in the state.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has a hearing today to discuss bail after his arrest earlier this week. When we return, we'll share the ongoing details of the rapper's high-profile case.
Plus, the victims of abuse at a North Florida school are eligible to share millions of dollars in compensation. All this and more when First at 5 returns.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Musical mogul Sean Diddy Combs is set to return to a New York City courtroom today. His lawyers are pushing for bail, citing horrific jail conditions. The producer was arrested Monday night after a grand jury indicted him on 7 counts, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He was initially denied bail this Tuesday despite offering more than $50 million during a bond hearing. Now, his lawyers are appealing, saying Combs should not be subjected to rough conditions at the federal jail, citing the murders and suicides that have occurred there in recent years.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges.
Prosecutors are arguing that Combs is a threat to the community based on alleged violent acts detailed in his indictment and a flight risk due to his immense wealth.
Victims of abuse at the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys will be able to apply for compensation next week. That's according to Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. Children and adolescents who endured brutality at the state-run reform school in Mariana decades ago are eligible to receive a share of $20 million. Officials say the program, which is the result of a measure passed by lawmakers this year, will compensate those who were victims of mental, physical, or sexual abuse at the school. Charles Fudge attended the school in the 1960s and shared his thoughts on the program.
It is what it is. Hey, if kids never get beaten or abused, everything we did was worth it. That's the main thing. It wasn't about the money.
The application will be available on September 23rd. The money will be divided evenly among the eligible applicants.
Ocala Fire Rescue will conduct a training burn Friday at the Ocala International Airport. Officials say the live fire burn will take place between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., and it will simulate an aircraft emergency on airport grounds. OFR officials say smoke and flames may be visible during the training and are asking residents and businesses in the area not to be alarmed, as the burn poses no threat to the public.
The Florida Gators' rivalry with the Tennessee Volunteers is heating up off the football field. Gainesville's Life South Blood Centers is using school spirit to encourage more people to donate blood. The annual What Colors Do You Bleed blood drive contest is in full swing yet again. Since Monday, Life South and local blood donors have offered prizes to participants. The rewards include a $20 gift card and custom t-shirts. In Knoxville, Tennessee, Medic Blood Center and other donors are doing just the same. The Volunteers are in the lead so far with nearly 400 donations. The Gators are trailing by several dozen donations. Blood donors we spoke to say hospitals need more blood donors and donating is no hassle.
My mom's a nurse practitioner and I work in the ICU, so we see a lot of shortage of blood, and I just came out of class, so I thought that, oh, it'll only take 15 minutes of my time.
Life South Blood Drive ends this Friday. You can also donate through the American Red Cross or One Blood Blood Bank.
Storms with heavy rain and frequent lightning are popping up this evening, but changes are coming into the weekend. Your complete forecast is next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Looking into our area right now, tracking a severe thunderstorm warning moving southeast towards Palm Coast right now, bringing in heavy rain, winds, and some radar indicated hail. For the rest of our area, though, we do have some pop-up storms just moving to the east, moving west to the east of Mayo and moving to the east of 75 right now. All is clear here in Gainesville right now. 85 degrees in Gainesville, 82 in Stark, and 82 in Jacksonville. Some cooler temperatures over St. Augustine. That's because of all the rain that they've been seeing as of late. Overlooking the campus cam, see some of those storms off to the east, very far off there, 84 degrees right now. Some bluer skies overlooking our west, very nice right now. Although we are going to drop off into the mid-70s, it is going to remain relatively humid. Those rain chances are also going to drop off as we head into tonight. See on the future track here that these rain is going to stay to the east of 75, moving towards the Atlantic. Those rain chances are going to clear up tonight as we head into those overnight hours for the most part. Low pressure system here is kicking up some moisture from the Gulf, which is why we're seeing some rain. You can see a cold front over on the Midwest Plains over there. You can start to see that cold front start to creep in on our future cast, bringing in some rain from a different low pressure system off the coast of the Atlantic. Thursday afternoon could see some rain, and same with Friday afternoon. But that cold front is starting to creep its way south, going to start to make its way towards us on the weekend, which is going to give us a little bit of drier and cooler air. Now, tracking the tropics right now, there is a little group of storms down here south of the Yucatan Peninsula that's expected to move north into this area. That only has a low chance over the next 7 days. However, a lot of the GFS models has it going north into our area. This could change a bunch of times, though it is only a model and not a forecast. Tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to be in the low 70s, going to be humid, fog is going to be possible. Sun and clouds as we head into the later hours, going to reach up into the upper 80s and to the lower 90s. Dew point is really high right now, 73 degrees in Gainesville, 74 in Stark, mainly in the lower 70s. A lot of moisture in that atmosphere right now, making us feel a lot more hot. And taking a look at that cold front, you're going to see the dew point going to drop off into the upper 60s as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Going to turn into a relatively nice weekend on our Saturday and Sunday. Going to reach up only into the mid 80s. Going to feel a little cooler than we are expecting to, and for the most part, it's going to be a nice weekend to go outside and take a walk or do outside activities. Thursday, reaching up into the 90s, temperatures are going to start to drop off as we head into the later parts of this week, and Saturday and Sunday looking like a perfect day.
Coming up in sports, it was another edition of the Battle of the Sunshine State last night as number 16 Florida Volleyball took on number 18 FSU in the O'Connell Center.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome into sports. I'm Miguel Molina. Although we may be several months out from that in-state rivalry football game between Florida and FSU, we did get a taste of that bad blood last night in the O'Connell Center. In a primetime ranked matchup, number 16 Gators Volleyball took on the number 18 Seminoles in a 5-set thriller. The Orange and Blue had their backs against the wall heading into the fourth set, down 2-1, but senior Gabrielle Essex and All-American sophomore Kennedy Martin brought the boom last night by recording a combined 31 kills, with freshman setter Taylor Parks dishing them up with a career-high 56 assists. All this firepower was too much for the Garnet and Gold to handle as the Gators took home the W, winning 3-2. Florida moves to 7-2 after picking up their first ranked win of the season. The Gators next hit the hardwood on Friday when they host North Texas. Still on volleyball, here are the high school games going on in the area tonight in a match to find out who is the better Panther. Newberry hosts Palatka at 7. Both of these teams are pretty much even in the win-loss column, with Newberry just having one more loss. Going on at the same time is Santa Fe versus Gainesville. The Raiders have been dominant all season long with a record of 15-4 and are ranked 29th in the state of Florida. But don't count out the Hurricanes as they will look to cause a storm tonight on the hardwood. Rock bottom. Look, no one wants to be there, but the reality is that many Gator fans in Gainesville feel that the Orange and Blue have reached the lowest of lows after this past weekend. In the loss to Texas A&M last Saturday, Florida's offensive line really struggled against the Aggies defense. The Gators only ran the ball for 52 yards, most of their attempts picking up negative yardage. As well, both quarterbacks Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway got pressured and sacked on multiple occasions, which contributed to the QBs to throw a combined 3 interceptions. Definitely not the recipe for success against a tough SEC opponent. However, offensive tackle Austin Barber is confident that his O-line can turn this season around.
You know, I have confidence in all the guys that's been playing the offensive line and even the young guys that go in there and perform. And I think it's just, you know, going into practice today and, you know, nipping the things in the bud that we have to fix. And I think we'll do a good job with that. I trust the guys in that room.
Barber and the rest of the O-line will have a chance at redemption this Saturday as the Gators head to Starkville to face Mississippi State. Kickoff is at noon. The football team is not the only ones heading north this week. Gator soccer open up SEC play tomorrow night when they face number 20 Kentucky. The Orange and Blue have had a solid season so far, only losing 1 out of their 8 games played. However, the Wildcats won't be an easy task for Florida as Kentucky has started their season 8-0. But what the Gators have going for them is their undefeated record on the road this year. Kickoff between these conference opponents is slated for 7:30 p.m. One final note, the WNBA has announced that they are expanding in 2026. Portland, Oregon will mark the location of the 15th franchise in the league's history. At this time, there's no official team name has been announced.
Well, I think they should bring the 16th one, right, to Florida next, right?
I think there used to be a team in Florida, the Miami Soul.
Really?
I think so, back in the day.
You know, I think you're right, Jamie. But speaking about Soul, how's the sun going to be looking like?
Yeah, Souls and Sun, that's a good one right there. Temperature is going to breach up into the upper 90s as we head into tomorrow. As we head into the later parts of this week and into the weekend, we could see a cold front drying us out with those lows reaching into the upper 60s. Going to be a beautiful weekend. Rain chance is going to remain pretty low as well.
Thank you, Matthew. Well, I'm so excited that it's finally going to be a nice weekend ahead of us. And thank you all for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WFT.org and all of our social media platforms. Have a good night.